Hey guys, today I want to tell you a story. I often tell this story and people get a kick out of it. So, my maternal grandmother bought a house across the street from a Catholic church. And she went on to have 13 children. During the time that she was raising these children in North Philly, this church became very important to her life, helping her educate her children, and all kinds of other services that the Catholic Church provided back then to help families. So my grandmother became, Catholic. So all her children were Catholic. So I was raised Catholic, to everybody's dismay. So I always tell this story about how it was a Catholic nun who introduced me to paganism. Indirectly, she didn't mean to. I don't think she knew what she was going to do with this, but let me tell you the story. Okay, so I was in 8th grade, and Sister Teresa is her name, gave us an assignment. And the assignment was to watch the Pope on TV that night and write an essay about our feelings about what he had to say. So he came on television. This was Pope John Paul II. He came on television and was talking about HIV. And basically what he was saying was that good Catholics should not be using condoms, because good Catholics should not be having sex unless they're married. And of course, if they're married, then these good Catholics wouldn't have to worry about HIV and AIDS, because these good Catholics are only having sex with each other. And I condemned his entire statement. I was already pretty inflammatory by then, so I just condemned his whole statement from top to bottom. Basically, it just didn't make sense, because good Catholics are having sex before marriage. I don't know if that makes them a bad Catholic in his eyes, I guess, but there are people having sex before marriage, and you basically are condemning them to death by telling them, oh, you shouldn't be using condoms because you should be perfect in every way. And I thought that was just ridiculous. I think a lot of things that come out of the mouths of the Catholic Church was ridiculous. A lot of stuff just seemed unrealistic to me. But I was Catholic, so it was what it was. So anyway, after I wrote this essay, Sister Teresa told me to come to her desk after school, and she wanted to talk with me. And she gave me back my assignment. I had an A. I had a perfect score. And she said, if you don't follow the Pope with blind faith, you can't be a Catholic. And I was like, okay. And I'd heard that before. We've been taught that before, but I forgot about it. And she reminded me. And I said, okay. I didn't know where she was going with this. And she said, there are lots of other spiritual systems in the world. And if you don't feel like this one speaks to you or is right for you, you should seek out a different spiritual system. And at that time, I was kind of dumbfounded, because I didn't know there were other spiritual systems. I knew about Judaism and Islam, but she said there were a lot of other ones. And I'm like, there are a lot of other ones? Really? I thought it was just these 3. So I was 13 when that happened, and from that moment on, I began to search for a spiritual home, a spiritual system that could be my home. And it took me until I was in my 20s to find Mayat. And that's why I became a priestess. So I just always thought it was funny that this road was kind of shown to me by a Catholic nun. I know she probably didn't know what she was saying. I guess she was divinely inspired, but she probably didn't know where that would lead me. Which I've always been grateful for, because I might have figured that out on my own much later, but to realize it at 13 made me very open-minded to other spiritual systems. And then I began to notice that other people were in different things and be like, oh, okay, what's that about? And I started to learn about other spiritual systems. So that is my story. I tell people I'm collecting stories for the nursing home. That one is one of my favorite ones to tell. But I have others. Some of them I may tell, and some of them I may not tell you. Some of them are strictly for the nursing home. But that's one that I always like to share because it shows that we're all pretty much just doing the same thing in different ways. Just got to keep your heart open. All right, people. Be good to each other. Be safe. This is Queen Aset Haru. Peace.